Main Street Media, live from SEC Media Days in Atlanta, is presented by Shelter Insurance of Dixon and Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And in part by Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, Jeff Eby for State Representative, Red Bird Realty, Porter Brothers HVAC LLC, Area 51 Tech Solutions, Micah Blunt State Farm Agency, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint, Denton's The TV Store, Fast Stop Markets of Middle Tennessee, C&K Forklift Service and Repair, First Lending Solutions and Pam Witt, and by the Roxy 8 Theater of Dixon. Following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds like 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Sindrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hall of Fame, site of SEC Media Days over the last 4-day period. The tarp is off. The rain has ended. By the way, it poured here earlier today, and Watson Brown is with us from Cookeville. Watson, how are you?
George, I'm great. I sent the rain to you because last night we got it big here.
I'm hearing they haven't gotten much in Nashville, though. That's concerning.
Cookeville got it. We had some flooding up here, so we got good rain. We needed it.
Let's check in with Billy Derrick. We're going to move a little quicker than normal into the update. Billy, how you doing?
George, I'm doing great today. It's day 4 at SEC Media Days. About to pack things up and head back to Nashville.
And as you can see in the background, my fan club is here. There's nobody. Most of the media have taken off, and we will do the same here in about an hour and a half. But why don't we get right to the business at hand, because there are 3 or 4 big stories that have developed today. So, Billy, take it away.
Let's start in the NHL, George. We start with the Predators. They have signed Nino Niederreiter from the Carolina Hurricanes. 2 years, $8 million contract, according to their press release. Niederreiter posted 44 points in 75 games for Carolina last season. And we talked earlier, George, about the pickup, and you liked it.
Yeah, I do. He will go on their second line. And Watson, I think people who know a lot more about hockey than I do believe this is now a solid playoff team as opposed to one that sort of limped in a year ago. This appears to be another in a series of good moves that David Poile has made. And let's be honest, he needed a good offseason.
Yeah, he did. I don't know the young man. You'll have to help me. You watch more hockey than I do, but if he's a solid guy on the second line, depth right now and maybe some scorers, that was it. And he is that, correct?
Yeah, 24 goals a year ago with Carolina. So you figure on the offensive side that this is going to be very helpful. Yeah. And 2 years, I believe I saw $8 million. So $4 million a year. And that apparently fits into what most people think he's worth.
Well, good. Do you think we're done, or do you think there may be one more? I think we still have a little money.
Yeah, I hear about $2.5 million. I guess I'm 50-50 on whether there's another move or not. We'll just kind of have to wait and see.
All right, George, next topic is the Arizona Cardinals. They have signed their star quarterback, Kyler Murray, to a 5-year, $230 million deal. He is now among one of the NFL's richest quarterbacks. That deal will run through the 2028 season and includes $160 million in guaranteed money. So Kyler Murray is being valued by the Arizona Cardinals in a big way with that deal.
Watson, think about the options he had several years ago. The Oakland A's were trying to get him to play baseball. First of all, Oakland as a franchise is on a banana peel. And now all of a sudden, $46 million a year. You think football was the right choice?
I think so. Well, by the way, I just saw one guy, your one fan, go behind you back there. So
Right.
You do have a fan in the building, George Plaster fan.
I think he bagged out and said, I'm out of here. I'm not
Before
willing
you could get him on Twitter or Facebook or something. Right?
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh, man, that's great. That's great. We got one fan.
Thank God.
One.
But so that's the deal there with Kyler Murray. And, George, we've also got college football news to talk about. Georgia has rewarded their head coach, Kirby Smart, after their national title with another big deal of his own. 10 years, $112 million contract extension, and that'll have an annual increase. That increases to $12 million for the 2031 season. So we talked about it earlier, George. It feels like this is kind of the beginning of the new Alabama, potentially, in the SEC.
Absolutely. Listen, he's done a great job there. He got the monkey off his back when he was able to beat Alabama in the national title game. Watson, the only question is, if you need a loan, do you go to Kirby Smart first or to Mr. Murray?
I don't know. I'd say that's a toss-up. It'd be the one that would give us the loan first, and I hear Kirby's a little tight, so we may have to go to Kyler Murray.
So we're going to go out to the desert and see what Kyler.
Yeah, we're going to the desert and beg Kyler to help us out. Can't you get either one of them to be sponsors of the show, George?
Oh my goodness, we need it.
Can we get them to be $1 million sponsor? What do you think? We ought to
this hour sponsored by Kirby Smart.
That's exactly right.
Wow. I got him to speak at the Music City Sports Festival a few years ago. What I should have gotten him to do was buy the dang thing.
I give them a lot of credit, but they got a long way to go to sustainability that Alabama's had.
Anybody would. Do we have a final story here?
George, final story here. We stick in college football, and this is a pretty funny story. Mario Cristobal has put an end to the turnover chain celebration. That's been used since 2017 down in Miami. And he said, in quote, "That is not a part of our culture. So no more turnover chain for the U."
Watson, I get the feeling that he took one look at all that and said, screw that. That's not me.
No, that's not him. So doesn't surprise me at all. Matter of fact, I'm a little surprised it's lasted this long.
By the way, he also apparently at ACC Media Day issued the edict that being early is being on time.
Heard that before.
Yeah. Okay, so that's sort of the quick run of it. Obviously, we got on the air just a few minutes late, but that'll give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. The University of Tennessee, they were on the clock this morning, and when we come back, you'll hear from head coach Josh Heupel. Then after that, Watson and I will kind of break down what we think of the Vols. So a busy 4 o'clock hour. Jimmy Hyams, the longtime Knoxville sports talk show host, he'll be joining us at 5 o'clock. So stick around. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
We're back. SEC Media Days concluding down in Atlanta. Tennessee was on the clock this morning. Let's waste no time. Let's check in with Vols head coach Josh Heupel.
How you feel right now compared to where you were last year at Media Days after the season you had last year?
Yeah, just another year into it. It's so different with your players. A complete understanding what it's going to look like for 80% of your roster. What game days are going to look like, what training camp's going to look like, your staff. The continuity that we were able to keep with our staff. Really, everybody coming back, old and young coaches and support staff, and that's really changed the way that we've worked from the time that we got back in January. Sure, we redefined everything, but man, it was really about our daily work habits and how we grow immediately from the time that we got foot back on campus, instead of building relationships with new people. And for us, really excited about what we've done in the first 3 quarters of our off season. Excited about training camp. I think we have a great understanding of who we are, what we're about, and how we want to play in all 3 phases of the game. Now it's about competing and growing as we get into training camp.
You preach a lot about culture and accountability. What's changed from this culture from year 1 to 2 that has this team excited and you heading into year 2?
Yeah, our sense of accountability at each point, each cross section of the off season, so dramatically different than where we were the year before, and dramatically different than even where we were when we finished the season. Leadership is so different each Wednesday during our off season before we got to spring ball. It was team day, it was leadership, it was communication. Not just from the leaders that you guys know their names, but from everybody inside of our program, from the young guys inside of our program. And because of that, how we practice during the course of spring ball was completely different. Much more ownership from within by our players. And championship seasons, great seasons happen because of the leadership and the work habits and the accountability factor from within the locker room. It doesn't happen because your coaching staff is different. It happens because of what's inside that locker room. And I love the growth that we've had and excited about, where we're at, but where we got to get to and how we're going to get there.
On the aisle, back row.
Hey, Coach Page with WVLT. You talked about the 3 guys you brought here today contributing to a lot of success within this team. What specifically have they done to strengthen this program?
Yeah, I think, if you just looked at 3 of them all together, the first thing that I would grab is their leadership, right? Truly feeling their energy, their presence, their focus, their intentionality, how we're going to work. They're not just great teammates, they're great leaders, and they force guys around them to raise their level of what they're doing. That would be number 1. Number 2 would just be their consistent work habits and how different they are. For Trey in particular, different than he was a year ago. For Cedric, he's continued to heighten that journey. For Handon, the purposefulness of how he's worked. Very intentional in the morning, being in there and studying offensive football defenses, just scheme, structure, and how we need to attack it, understanding it from a defensive side of perspective, and then fundamentally how much he's grown.
Left side, 4th row.
Coach Chris Yao, Main Street Media. Last season, several transfer players made a big impact for your team. You have a couple of guys in the secondary who have transferred in. What kind of impact do you feel like they will have on that particular secondary?
Yeah, I think as a program, we're deeper than we were a year ago. Earlier today, I mentioned, we had 69 scholarship players as we embarked on, training camp a year ago. And most people last year were probably at 90, closer to 95 with 6-year seniors, and we were thin. We are deeper. We're not as deep as we need to be, but we are deeper. The transfers that have come in, I think they're in a position, physically and mentally, when we start training camp to push and to compete for playing time, for jobs, and on defense, on special teams. I think there's greater depth, in particular on the defensive side of the football in our secondary, at the second level linebackers. And we have good competition that needs to take place on the first line with our defensive line too. And that's one of the places that we got to grow. We got to be able to affect the quarterback more on 3rd and long situations, not with pressure, although we're going to need that at times too, but just with our front 4 and being able to win some of those one-on-one battles.
Front row on the right.
Anthony Patterson with the Atlanta Boys. With Hendon, what has impressed you since last season when you first came in until now about him? And what do you feel is the next step for him to just, take that next step?
Yeah, I think for him, there's a lot of, key words that you could throw out there. But to me, as much as anything, is his ability to handle every situation that's thrown at him. Positive, negative, adverse situations. It doesn't matter. He keeps coming back, and he gets better from every one of those situations. And a young man that's gained so much in confidence, I think, in what we do offensively, how we coach him, how we help build them as players and as people, has had a positive impact on his performance on the field. But he's had a huge part of that in soaking those things up and really growing over the last 18 months, and so excited about his future and what he's done in the offseason to become a better player and a better leader.
So, Watson, let's talk a little bit about Tennessee, because obviously from an excitement level, there's a ton of it right now. I went to the bowl game against Purdue. The flip side of this is that defensively, they never came close to stopping Purdue. Are they going to get that much better on defense?
Well, I hope so, George. And I think the one thing he hit on that I put a thumbs up on was he thinks he's a lot deeper on defense. When you play his style of offense, you have to be deeper. If I was starting the program at Tennessee today, running what I was running at the end of my time, which is just about what he does, very, very close. He's probably the closest one to what we were doing back at the end of my time 6 years ago that I see. If I had to do it over again, I would bring in a lot more defensive players than I bring in offensive players, because that's where you have to have depth. You've got one extra receiver, a good one. You got 2 extra offensive linemen. You can get by. But defensively, when you play as many snaps as you have to play in the Tennessee style of offense, you better be deep. And I could see that last year. I could see them wilting about middle of the third quarter. And that's what got him. And so he's got to get deeper. They got to get better too. We know that. Hopefully they have. We're going to know here pretty quick. But depth, to me, you can't win with his style of football without a deep defense.
Okay, let me ask this. For the good of his defense, does he at times have to think about slowing it up a little bit?
No, he's not going to do that. That's his style. George, when I was at the end of my time, or when we won the championship at Tech, running this, I mean, we went to Oregon and copied them. I'm talking about the pace, the huddle, everything they did, we copied them. Practice schedule, not the offensive plays, but everything else. And I'm telling you, you have to practice that. They have to be in condition, and I don't think he's gonna change at all. He when he starts getting leads, which he didn't have a lot last year, fighting close games at the end. When he starts getting leads, you will see him not get in the huddle, but slow it down more. But no, they're going to go now. That's what they believe in. I always thought we had to score 31 or more, and our defense had to hold them 28 or less. That was our goal point-wise. We can't be under 31. Our defense can't be over 28 as an average through the year and be very good.
Watson, they're incredibly effective on offense. For the defensive limitations, this just in, Purdue didn't do a lot of stopping of Tennessee in that bowl game either.
No, neither.
What kind of things do you have to do to not necessarily shut it down, but to keep that number in the 20s and give yourself a chance to win against them?
2 things, in my opinion. You got to stop drives. It don't matter where it is, but you got to stop drives. And the way you do that is get them in 3rd and long. That's really hard. Or you get turnover. And if you let him sit there and 3 and 4 yard you to death, George, to me as a defense playing this style of stuff, okay, when do we blitz? And the blitz has to be good. We got to find a way to get them against the chains. Now we got a shot. If you let him 4 and 5 yard you to death in that style, man, you get rhythm. The defense is got a knee on the ground, and it's fun to watch. But when you can get a stop, then another stop, now you're making their defense even play more. That's what it's all about. It's as much getting the ball back for your offense and make their defense play more as anything when you're playing that style, I think.
Here's what we're going to do. When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion of University of Tennessee football for 2022. We're going to look at the Vols schedule, and we're going to look a lot closer at Hendon Hooker. But first, Billy has important words.
Yes, I do, George. Very important words. The 4 o'clock hour is powered by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team. Call 615-906-8458. And talking Tennessee, we got to get to Dairy Berry's Heat and Air. They have been proudly serving in Middle Tennessee for over 35 years for outstanding service. Call Dairy Berry's for all of your heating and air needs. Dairy Berry's Heat and Air, making customers for life.
Okay, there is excitement on Rocky Top with good reason. We'll talk about it when we come back.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield, we're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
At Porter Brothers LLC, we look forward to discussing your plans, resolving concerns, and making improvements to the comfort, health, and efficiency of your home. With the right system operating at its best, you save money, better enjoy the living environment, and increase the value of your investment. We handle all makes and models for seasonal HVAC maintenance and repairs and offer free estimates on replacements. Call us today at 615-446-8067, 615-446-8067.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
As a two-term county commissioner, we built the County Justice Center and the Burns Middle School, all while maintaining a budget surplus. We were able to secure additional funding for all of the volunteer fire departments to get the vital equipment that they need to do their job. I fought on the front lines in Iraq. With your vote, I'll fight on the front lines in our community to give you a voice. Let's do this together.
Paid for by Jeff Eby for State Representative, District 69.
Area 51 Tech Solutions is focused on expert service with quality parts at an affordable price. Their passion is custom-built gaming desktop computers, virtual reality setups, and gadgets, but they also specialize in servicing and repairing all major brands of electronics, including computers, tablets, cell phones, HD TVs, and game consoles. Based in Dixon, they service Middle Tennessee from Clarksville to Murfreesboro and Portland to Columbia. Call them today at 615-379-8113 or visit area51techs.com.
When you think about buying a new or pre-owned car, you might immediately feel anxious about pushy sales staff and being forced into a decision that might not be the right one for you. Our team at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon is nothing like that. We want to help you find the perfect car, not just the first car you test drive. When you visit our dealership, you'll also see the pricing up front without having to haggle or ask for a special discount. We want to earn your business for life. Come experience the progressive car buying experience with no pressure at Steve Jones Automotive in Dixon, Tennessee, just a short drive from Nashville and the surrounding area.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
We are back, the final day of SEC Media Days from the College Football Hall of Fame down in Atlanta. We want to thank them for all the hospitality that they have given us. On this final day, the University of Tennessee was at the microphone. And as all of you know, there is an incredible level of excitement right now in Big Orange Country about what Josh Heupel has done and what they think he's going to continue to do. And Watson, a lot of this is around Hendon Hooker, who not only can throw it, but he can really run it. Whatever the word dual threat means, man, it's got his picture on the dictionary.
Yeah, he's the difference. They got to keep him healthy, but they also got to use him. And part of his style is running. They're going to be call runs, not a ton, but he's going to make plays that aren't call runs with his feet. Let's say an RPO breaks down or a drop back pass breaks down. Whatever, George, he's going to make plays. He's one of those guys that I've seen miss a read on the zone read play and then dodge the defensive end and make the first down. I had a quarterback at Mississippi State, if you remember, named Sleepy Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
And with Sleepy was a great runner and an unbelievably tough competitor, and he wanted it ever down. I mean, he was a tailback. And I can vividly remember we're running some read plays and all that in those days. And about the third game, he comes into my office and he says, Coach, if you get rid of those read plays and just let me fake it and keep it, I'll dodge whoever I'm reading. So I said, buddy, go for it. It's all yours. And by golly, he did. That's what I see him and Hooker doing. He makes plays so many. He made the offense so much better last year by not something that was called, and then took that and made something with his feet off of a bad call play. He covered some coaches big time last fall.
I like that nickname, Sleepy.
Sleepy. That was his name. Wasn't his nickname. That was his name.
That was his name?
Legal name?
I think so.
Really? Okay.
All I ever heard.
Here comes the classic talk show kind of deal. Okay. Me being cynical and Watson having been a coach and actually experienced all this stuff. So here we go. Watson, there's a part of me that sits there and says, wait a minute. The competition a year ago between Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker should never have been any competition whatsoever. How in the world I'm supposed to believe that coaching staff couldn't figure that out until about 3 games into the season? Milton, I always thought was a stiff. I thought he was a stiff at Michigan. He throws the 120-mile-an-hour fastball with absolutely no touch. How did that coaching staff not figure that out on day one?
I can't take up for that one. I don't
really
know. It had to stick up in practice. It had to. Milton is not near the athlete Hooker is, not even close, and not even as accurate as Hooker is. So that had to show up in practice to me, George. I don't know. I know Milton was there first, right? So he got extra time on him to learn the stuff, and maybe it took him a while to learn. I don't know. I can't defend that from watching them play, and it may have cost them a game early in the year.
Let's go to their schedule. Let's pull that up here and kind of see what's going on. They open against a buddy of mine, Mike New, the head coach at Ball State. 2 years ago, they were a bowl team. They have to go to Pittsburgh early, and the Panthers will be ready. They've come off a very successful season. Watson, it sure looks to me, and I'm laughing, how many years in a row have we said this? Boy, it sure feels like the Florida game is a pivotal game for their season.
Every damn year.
Honk if you've heard that for the last 25 years.
Yeah, and I like this schedule. Look again, like I always do. Look at the away games. Georgia is really, everything else is very doable. LSU's is rebuilding, to say the least. Florida is early, and they're having to rebuild. And Pittsburgh lost a ton, and they get them real early. I like this schedule. Some of their tougher games are at home. Alabama and Florida especially, Kentucky, which they've had trouble with here recently. I like this schedule. I think this team gets by Pittsburgh. If they beat Pittsburgh, they're not losing to Florida. I will put that. You can put that down in Georgia's 2-5 record right now. If
Tennessee gets to Florida 3-0, watch out.
Did you hear what he just said? He took a total shot at me. Go ahead and say it again.
I might have missed it. What was the shot?
It'll make it feel good. I said
you can put me in Georgia's 2-5 statements if you would like. But if they beat Pittsburgh, they will beat Florida. I worry more about Pittsburgh than Florida. If they lose to Pittsburgh, then the Florida game again, I think, is toss-up city. But
I need a win so bad.
Hey, George, have you self-evaluated yourself here with a little time off? And
yes.
You have, and so you're going to have a little different game plan now?
Oh, I don't know about that. The evaluation came down to 2 words. I suck.
No, we need more of an evaluation than that. Is there something you can, in your analytics, can you improve?
In your analytics.
Evaluate yourself and say, I suck. That's not what you do.
We need some Clark Lee confidence from you.
I think what I need to do.
I could have done that many years. I could have self-evaluated myself many times and said, "You suck." You can't do that, George. That's not the way you try to improve yourself.
Well, I've been busy this week, but I'll tell you what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take the Braves more.
That's a
Probably
safe
not
bet.
a bad idea with their
Probably not.
last month's record. I'd say, that might be a bad idea to do that.
I kind of, without giving it away, went down that road tonight. Limited schedule. By the way, the Yankees lost game 1 of their doubleheader in Houston, and that's always good news.
Houston, I'm telling you right now, Houston, you don't mess with. They're pretty good.
They're very good
They're getting
inside.
better now.
Yeah. So, Watson, what do you think is realistic with Tennessee? Obviously, you got a fan base that's bought just a boatload of season tickets. Neyland Stadium is going to have an electricity to it that's going to be really good. Yeah, nice picture there. There's some electricity there.
Oh, yeah.
What is fair? What is reasonable?
I think Neyland Stadium is back. I think it will be wild. And I think no worse than 8-4. That's what I think.
What does that mean, though? Neyland Stadium is back.
I mean, the atmosphere in there. When I've been to that place when it's rolling, it's in my top 5. And I've been there a bunch. Vanderbilt and went there at UAB. I may have gone there somewhere else. I can't remember. Mississippi State. Yes, I was there when at Mississippi State. And when Neyland Stadium, and they're positive and they're rocking, it is maybe in the top 3 with me. I know A&M is 1. Baton Rouge would have to be right up there. I think Neyland Stadium is something special when it's positive. Now, they can be like any of them. It's not like LSU the night when we beat them. That last quarter was not real. We didn't have to take on the LSU crowd. They were booing them more. They were booing us. So, but no, I think Neyland Stadium is back. The fans, unless they pull something crazy, and I don't see it early in the season, not at home. And I think 8-4 at worst. And 8-4, I don't see a big – they got to go to Georgia. The rest of those are very winnable. They got Alabama at home. The rest of those are very winnable at home, guys. Just look at the schedule. And I'm not saying they're wins, but I'm saying 8-4 to me would be as low as I see it.
Okay. There is one fly in the ointment, and you sort of hinted at it earlier. What if Hooker gets hurt?
Yeah.
Then what?
No, that's not a fly. That's a dragonfly in the ointment. I mean,
that's a no-no.
That's an elephant in the ointment. That's a major fall off then. He is so important to that team and the style they run. He was last year. I don't think I could pick a quarterback in the country where I thought that guy, Max guy maybe at North Carolina, that guy wins games. He just makes the plays to win games. I put Hooker right there with all of them last year. So for their sake, cross your fingers, be smart on how you use him because he's going to carry it himself 10 times. If you give him 5 carries, that's 15. Got to be careful letting him run the ball too much.
There it is.
It's yours.
George, it's all mine. Here we
Yes.
go. Dairy Berry's Heat and Air. Dairy Berry's Heat and Air has been proudly serving the Middle Tennessee area for over 35 years. For outstanding service, call Dairy Berry's for all your heating and air needs. Dairy Berry's Heat and Air, making customers for life.
Stat of the day and an opportunity for respectability for Watson and me. That comes up next. Yes, it does. This is what is this? What do we call this? Well, no, hold on a minute. I want you to look. I'm going to duck. Look at my fan club back here.
Look at all those people.
This is Main Street Media Television.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Don't overpay for your next home entertainment system. Visit the folks that have been selling, installing, and repairing TVs, stereos, and more for the last 40 years. Denton's, the TV store in Dixon, has the largest selection of high-end TVs on display. Denton specializes in professionally designed unique TV, audio, and video systems for the whole house, man cave, or outdoor space. Stop by in the Dixon Plaza across from Kroger or call 615-446-2222. Denton's, the TV store. It's in the name.
At Redbird Realty, we are committed to providing you with the highest quality service and not only finding your cherished home, but also a wise investment. With over 27 years experience in the real estate industry, we offer high quality service and we treat our clients the way that we would like to be treated. When you're ready, we would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your real estate needs and answer any questions you may have. Call us at 615-476-2879. 615-476-2879.
With 14 locations across Tennessee, family-owned Fast Stop Markets knows you need simple. The one-stop shop for fuel, food, and more now offers Fast Stop Perks, an easy-to-sign-up rewards program that turns your purchases into points that you can spend like cash. You can also win prizes, join clubs, and save big. Get your Fast Stop Perks card at checkout or download the Fast Stop Perks app to start earning your points today. Fast Stop Markets, keeping you moving.
C&K Forklift Repair understands that a non-working forklift puts a hold on your team's ability to do its job. Our certified technicians work quickly and efficiently 24 hours a day to repair and provide maintenance on your forklift using only high-quality replacement parts. With over 15 years experience, C&K Forklift Repair also provides training and instruction for forklift operators covering all of Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Give us a call, 615-651-2735.
State Farm Agency Micah Blunt is proud to bring you live coverage from SEC Media Days. Micah was born and raised in Tennessee and takes pride in providing the highest degree of protection for all customers. State Farm offers auto, home, and life insurance at the price you can afford. Located in Dixon, Tennessee, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Give Micah and his team a call today to help with all of your insurance needs. Serving all of Tennessee, call 615-229-2999. That's 615-229-2999.
We are back, and that may or may not be a good thing, as we welcome you to SEC Media Days in Atlanta. College Football Hall of Fame is almost empty. Most of the sane people have gotten out of here. Billy, are we now ready for Stat of the Day?
We are ready for Stat of the Day, George. It is presented by, as always, John English Antique Sports and Cards. They specialize in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit JohnEnglishGradedCards.com.
Watson, out of a possible three being a perfect score, this week we are at 1.72. BGA math says that's 57.3% proficiency.
Yep,
In other words,
I know in the cookbook number wise, that's still an F.
So you all do not grade on the curve.
Then when I was in school, no, there was no curve.
There's no curve for Stat of the Day either.
Okay, well let's put this thing up and see.
All right, George, Stat of the Day. Since 2010, how many times has a non-SEC school won the national title in college football?
Now, wait a minute. Are we supposed to tell you how many times or what schools?
How many times? That's the question, but I'll give you guys a bonus if you can name all three. So that you got three.
You just said how many times.
You just gave it away.
Us a chance to answer how many times.
Oh, wow.
And
All right, now you got now you got to name all three.
That's pilot air. You know, he can.
Clemson and Ohio State. Who's the other one, George?
Okay, Clemson. And did Clemson not win it twice?
I think they did, but he said 3 schools.
Oh.
3 different schools?
Yep.
Okay, hold on a second.
Clemson, Ohio State.
It's been a while since either Southern Cal or Texas, so we can eliminate them.
What did Watson say? He said Clemson and who else?
Ohio State.
Okay, that's 2. You got one more.
And I like the way he took the leadership position in that. Gosh.
Clemson?
We're missing something that's pretty obvious, and I don't know why, but we're going to take our sweet time about this, Watson. We're not going to be forced into something bad.
Wait a minute. Is Jimbo Fisher's in that? Would that be
Florida State, Auburn?
Oh.
Florida State scored in the final minute to win that.
Jimbo won one at Florida State. Is that in the time frame, George?
Dadgum right it is.
Look at that graphic, Watson.
We finally got one.
Look at that.
Watson, let's do a quick BGA math. Out of a possible 4 this week, 4 being a perfect score, we are at 2.72, which is 68% proficiency.
We're right on the DC line now, babe.
Right. Let me just say it a different way. Watson, because this was totally him, is cooking with gas.
No, he ain't cooking with gas.
That was a little bit of a gimme, but you still got it.
Yeah, so what? So what? We need a
gimme. A little bit of a gimme. Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why is this a gimme when the 3 coaches or 4 or 5 coaches?
Well, I gave you
their alma mater.
the
What's the
actual
difference in
answer.
this one and that one? Why is this a gimme?
I gave you the number of teams, but you were actually able to name.
Well, but
which
you
teams they were.
changed what it was all about. You said name the 3 schools.
You still got the 3
gimme.
schools.
We still had to come up with it.
Watson's absolutely right.
Jeez,
You're now on double secret probation.
I mean,
still give Watson the credit there.
But you can sort of clean your act up if the interview with Jimmy Hyams was any good.
Okay.
So the answer was then, Billy, if your first question was how many teams won the NC2A championship in 10 years other than SEC? I mean, how many? There were 4 games, right? Clemson won 2 of them.
Yes.
Ohio State won, Florida State won. Is that
but
right?
3 teams. Clemson won twice, Florida State, and then Ohio State.
And then you answered that before we even had a chance to
get
it.
Yeah.
But that's full credit. I'm not taking anything away from it.
All of this leads us to the 5 o'clock hour, and we welcome all of you back. On the right, that's Watson Brown. Behind us is Billy Derrick, and earlier today he caught up with Knoxville sports talk show host and a guy who has seen it all when it comes to University of Tennessee athletics. That is Jimmy Hyams. Here is that interview.
Day here at SEC Media Days, and I want to start with the quarterback. That's obviously the most important position. Hendon Hooker impressed a lot of people last year, surprised a lot of people. He had some pretty good receivers beside him as well, a guy like Cedric Tillman. So what can we expect from Hendon Hooker in year 2 under Josh Heupel?
I think more of the same. Hendon Hooker caught a lot of people by surprise, I think including the coaches, because they didn't start him at the beginning of the year, right? This intrigued me. I was talking to somebody with the SEC Network earlier and said, boy, Hendon Hooker can run. Nobody knew that. Well, at Virginia Tech, he had 2 150-yard rushing games. Yes, you should have known he could run. What you didn't know is whether he could operate an up-tempo offense as efficiently as he did. And in fact, Tennessee coaches didn't, I guess, necessarily see that in practice leading into the season. But when Milton went down, Hendon Hooker took over. 31 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. That's the best touchdown to interception ratio in Tennessee history. 68% completion rate. That was the school record as well. Passing efficiency. He was terrific. And that's an offense that suits his game. Now, if you want to say we weren't sure about that, I'll go with you. To say you weren't sure he's mobile, I'll question that. But for him to be as efficient running that offense as he was, I give him a ton of credit, but also give a lot of credit to Josh Heupel and the offensive staff for taking advantage of his skill set.
Jimmy, of course, it's SEC Media Days week. There seems to be a lot of hype about a lot of teams. We talk about Alabama, Georgia, a team like South Carolina. Beamer was impressive yesterday. Heupel here at Tennessee is going to have a lot of eyes on him, a lot of eyes on these players, a lot of talk, a lot of extracurriculars around this Tennessee team before this season. Is there pressure? Is there pressure on this team? It feels like there's pressure every year because they're Tennessee. I mean, one of the top 20 programs in the history of college football. But is there kind of an added pressure this year because of the expectations?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of added pressure. Now, what's interesting to me is I talked with Cole Kubelik, and he said, I asked him about the third best team in the SEC, and he said, maybe it's Tennessee. Roman Harper with the SEC Network, third best team in the SEC, maybe it's Tennessee. So there are a lot of people that are optimistic about Tennessee. I'm not quite at that level to where I think they're the third best team, but with the offense that they have and with the quarterback that they have and with the returners, I think a lot of people are really bullish on Tennessee. Now, I think they're going to score a ton of points. They set a school record last year for points scored. They could break that this year. Defensively, I still have some issues about that. But to your question about is there pressure? Yeah, there's pressure to be better than you were last year. Not pressure to win 10 games, not pressure to win the East Division, but pressure to be better than you were last year. Once you start heading in the right direction, you don't want to start falling back down the mountain, right? And so I think that Tennessee needs to win more games than it did a year ago.
Jimmy, you talked about the offense, of course, averaging almost 40 points a game. They're putting up first quarter numbers we haven't seen before in Tennessee football history. But second quarter comes, seems like they might have been one of the worst second quarter teams. So how does Josh Heupel and this staff try to find some consistency? Because it feels like that may be the next step for them to kind of put all four quarters together and then maybe beat an Alabama or beat a Georgia.
Yes, a good question. Last year, they led the nation in first quarter scoring. I think they led the nation in the point differential in the first quarter. They got outscored in the second quarter. So a part of that you can attribute to the fact that defenses adjusted to the speed of the game. Here's the other part. How did Tennessee adjust? Did they not adjust well enough? What adjustments can they make as an opponent starts figuring out how to deal with the speed of the game? That's one of the things Tennessee has got to deal with. They got to get better at that because they cannot fall apart in the second quarter. They did against Purdue. Purdue outscored them, 16-0 in the second quarter. After Tennessee jumped on them, Purdue got right back in the ballgame. So that's going to be the chess match for Tennessee, is figuring out how to be better there. One way they could be better on offense, they weren't that good in third and short situations or fourth and short situations. They need to be better at converting that. They did a pretty good job converting third downs, but when it was third and short, they weren't that efficient. And that not only helps your offense, it helps your defense. And this defense will need all the help it can get.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being the Tennessee defense last year, having to play as many snaps as they did. But, Jimmy, in today's day and age, you got to believe the value of a strong defense may be declining. I could be wrong in that. But, I mean, a lot of these teams, especially in the SEC, are putting up 30, 40, 50 points a game. So for Josh Heupel and Tennessee in this defense, you know, is there all that pressure on them this year, you know, because of the value of defense maybe going down? And I mean, if you score points, you're in the game.
Georgia might argue that the value of a defense is going down, but that was an historic defense.
Right.
For everybody else, we heard Nick Saban say not that long ago, you can't just win with a great defense anymore. You got to have offense. And I agree with that. Rare exceptions, but I agree with that. So, yeah, there is more pressure on the defense. And here's where I think they're kind of being built a little bit. It's like what the Indianapolis Colts did with Peyton Manning. They surrounded Manning with all these talented players at running back and wide receiver, tight end, and they said, we're going to score. Now, in the fourth quarter, how are we going to stop people? With Dwight Freeney as a pass rusher, with Robert Mathis as a pass rusher. So they got these pass rushers to get after opposing quarterbacks who had to throw in the fourth quarter to catch up. Tennessee needs Byron Young to develop into a really good pass rusher, a 10-sack guy for a season. They need Roman Harsin to step up as a pass rusher. They need Tyler Barron to step up as a pass rusher. They all have the ability to be better than they were. And so I think that's going to be a big part of this defense. Can you make that critical stop at a key moment in the game, typically in the fourth quarter, with a sack or with the big play? The secondary, to me, has got a lot of holes. I'm really concerned about the secondary. I like the safeties, the corners. I'm not very high on them. Linebacker, I think they're okay. But they have got to be able to develop a pass rush if they want to take that next step defensively.
Jimmy, I want to go a little bit away from football. Of course, Danny White, the new AD at Tennessee, has done so many things that just excite Tennessee fans. I mean, not only with the baseball program, everything with basketball, but putting up the Vols font on the stadium. I mean, Tennessee fans, older Tennessee fans, probably really enjoyed seeing that. So, from Danny White's perspective, are you surprised at how much he's already done and kind of the excitement and buzz that he's created in Knoxville?
I'm going to say no, but it's a twofold deal. I like a lot of the things he's done. The fundraising, look, he listens to the fan base. The VOLS on the stadium, a lot of fans wanted that back. He's done other things that fans like. Now, he's angered some fans with some of the new ticket policies, and they're not honoring lifetime contracts from some of the deals that were done to build Thompson Bowling Arena. So some of that stuff has bothered the fan base a little bit. But one reason I think he's having some success, one, he's an innovator, he's a visionary, and he's a very smart guy. But here's what else has helped him. Baseball team's pretty good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They expanded the stadium. They went from averaging about 2,100 to about 4,400. And they had a lot of crowds of over 4,400 at that stadium. And they're going to improve that stadium. So, and then Tennessee won the All-Sports Trophy. First time they've ever won the SEC All-Sports Trophy overall. They also won it on the men's side. The women were second. In other words, all of those sports, almost every sport over Tennessee is doing well right now. Almost everyone. And they got 20 sports, and I'd venture to say 16 or 17 of them are doing pretty darn well. So I think that helps too when you've got overall success like that. Now, there's no question, though, the number one thing you got to do is fix football. They are fixing football. It's not there yet, but it's going in the right direction. And so, look, fans would rather, if you're going to lose 48-45, don't lose 7-3 or
Right.
17-6. Okay, so at least you got something to cheer about. At least there's excitement. At least when you get behind in the game, you think you can come back because your offense is great. So I think all those things have allowed Danny White to have some success, as well as the work he's done too.
Jimmy, real quick here before I let you go, over-under for Tennessee, 9 wins this season. What are you going to go? You think they over-under 9 wins?
Can I count the bowl game?
Why not? Why not?
Gosh.
That makes it easier on you.
Because to me, over-under regular season, if you'd said 9, I'd go under. If I get to add the bowl game to it, I think they get to 9. I'll go over if I can add the bowl game.
Over with the bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first from Jimmy Hyams from Sports Radio WNML. You can add him on Twitter if Tennessee fans aren't happy about that. But, Jimmy, appreciate you taking the time.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Jimmy's a good man. He's been doing this for a long time. Watson, he got into pass rush. Do you see anything in that front four that gives you hope that they can turn from what they were to something considerably better?
Too early for me yet to say that. I did see signs of good pass rushers last year, but real inconsistent. I mean, one guy would just look wonderful and beat a guy like a drum and around and sack. Then he don't show for 2 more quarters. So I think it's a little early for me to go there. It's all off their defense and Hooker staying healthy. That's what I say, George. All off their defense and Hooker staying healthy.
Okay, after the break, we'll get into Texas A&M, Gig 'em Aggies, and I'll give you a hint up front. Jimbo Fisher talks really quick. You're watching Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sport collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com.
It is very quiet at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, where the SEC Media Days have been going on for the last 4 days, going back to Monday. So it's quiet in here, but I can promise you, Kyle Field, College Station, Texas, it's one of the loudest places in the country. And they're starting to get excited about Texas A&M and thinking that they have a chance to be in a college football playoff. Well, that's not the only thing we got into today with Jimbo Fisher, but first,
George, let's talk about All Access Coach Leasing. They are our Aggie sponsor for this week at SEC Media Days. All Access Coach Leasing LLC provides professional entertainer tour transportation with over 20 years of experience in the entertainment industry and driving for some of the country's most successful tours. All Access has established itself as a premier provider of buses and transportation services. Call 615-230-7400 or visit allaccesscoach.com.
So while Jimbo Fisher probably wanted to talk about Texas A&M football, this just in, Captain Obvious here to report to you that Nick Saban came up as well. Let's listen in.
Excited to be here. Just say once this starts, practice is getting ready to go. And as much as coaches say, we all dread the beginning of the season. We love the beginning of the season and the newness and everything that's coming to it. And very excited about our football team in the fall. A lot of great new additions, a lot of older upperclassmen, I think, returning, and a lot of guys that were injured and banged up coming back. So I like the dynamic of our team, really like spring football, and looking forward to fall. Seems like we've had a very good summer, as I'm sure everybody has, but that's what we all say, right? Summer's going well, everything's going well. But like the dynamic of it, very excited for the team. A lot of challenges in a lot of ways, but a lot of pieces to work with. So looking forward to the challenge. Questions? We'll start on the left back row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, you mentioned the newness. One thing that seems new about college football is you have more quarterbacks transferring within the conference and competing for starting jobs immediately, including Max Johnson coming from LSU, but also Zach Calzada transferring to Auburn. What can you say about the way Zach performed when he stepped into the starting role last year, and what is Auburn getting?
Zach's a tremendous young man, very talented young man, has tremendous arm talent. Very competitive, very tough. As you saw, there was 2 games in the Alabama game, for instance, where he, got his knee banged up. He comes back in, leads us on a 2-minute drive. Auburn game, he actually popped his shoulder back in place and finished that game. You're talking about a guy who has great character, great toughness, great ability to throw the football down the field. And I think just, as he progresses, he's going to be a great player. And, you hate to lose him, but those decisions in today's world are different. But respect him very much and have tremendous – I love Zach. I think as a person, very smart, very intelligent, great human being. And I think Auburn's got a very good football player. Unfortunately, I got to go against him. But no, I wish him nothing but the best of luck. He's a high character quality young man.
Let's talk about your quarterback room, I guess, and the addition of Max.
What is your team, or how does your team complement his play style, and how is he fitting in with y'all?
Well, I think the one thing about that, our offense is very versatile. We've used mobile quarterback, we've used drop back quarterbacks. You go back to my history, probably more drop back guys than mobile guys, but we can use the mobile guys when we had Kellen and different guys, even Matt Flynn when we were down there a little bit with Matt and some of the things he did. But I think Max is a dynamic player. You're talking about a guy now, we talk about quarterback, he threw for 2,800 yards, threw 27 touchdowns and had 6 picks. Those numbers are, I don't know if there's anybody in the league besides maybe Bryce and a couple others. Maybe Bryce. I don't know if anybody has better numbers returning. I don't say that. I'm just going off the top of my head. But be very capable. I mean, and played a whole SEC schedule, won games, brought guys back big. And I tell you what he is. He's a much better athlete than people get. Think of him as a pocket guy, but he can run. He can run the football. He's a very big guy. So, and then for the room, I think, but Haynes King is a guy who played an outstanding game the first game last year for us. Very talented with arm talent, can run, throw, tough, and has looked very good, especially just both those guys, and then Connor Wegman, who I think was as good a player as a quarterback as it was in the country coming out. His fresh, is a true freshman for us. So I think we're very dynamic in our room. I think we have a lot of ability, a lot of different things that we're capable of doing, and I'm anxious for the competition. And as you saw last year, to have depth at quarterback is critical. And I think there's room for, and that keeping quarterbacks now is hard. It really is. But I'll say this, it's where you walk out of the game getting ready for the NFL, not where you're at, trying to hurry up and get there. And I think that's very critical in guys' development. Hopefully they can see that. But open competition, we'll see who wins and we'll see what happens. But I tell you what, I feel very blessed to have those 3 guys.
Nick Saban said he took the off-season dialogue between you guys as a chance to self-reflect, to become a better person and coach. Did you think the same thing? And if so, what did you take away from it?
Same thing. I mean, listen, you get 2 competitive guys who have disagreement or opinions or whatever, and we both voiced them publicly for the first time. Both of us have ever done that. And, we both can grow from that. And hopefully we will. But, there's competitiveness, and I have great respect for Nick and his program and everything he's ever done.
Left side.
Actually, we'd been very, very good friends for a long time.
Jimbo, what are your thoughts on the conference expansion and realignment, just kind of the direction that college football seems to be headed?
Well, we're into it, and that's for sure. I mean, they're here to stay. I think, the challenges is how do you schedule, how do you do things, what goes on, and because I think that's where the college football playoff has got to expand because of how big conferences become. Because I think it's the bigger the conference comes, I think the harder it is to find a true champion sometimes because it's based off scheduling within your own league, what teams you play, strengths you play, you're not playing. In the old days, you played everybody. You know what I'm saying? Or almost everybody, so you had a better feel. So I think as these grow, I think the playoff has to expand to get true college football champion, in my opinion. Because I think the leagues, you don't get a true gauge sometimes. Now, generally you will, but there's going to be times you don't. And I think it's a very challenging time. But I mean, and you're trying to keep as many traditions because I think that's what makes college football tremendous is the traditions that you have and the games you have. But some of those are going to have to go by the wayside a little bit, maybe not because of scheduling issues. Because I think one of the things, the challenges is making sure you play everybody and that the competitive balance to find out who the champion is, that there's an equal distribution of the teams you play and how you play. And I think that's going to be one of the huge challenges for us. But, it's here to stay. Change is inevitable, folks. It's whether you embrace it or not. And you can sit here and be mad about it. You can sit here and be up and down. And I'm a traditionalist. I love the histories of the games and all that stuff. But this is going to be here. So we have to embrace it. We have to change. And we have to be able to move on to adapt to be successful.
Okay, I hear people saying Texas A&M, a legitimate college football playoff contender this year. Watson, I'm not buying it. I don't think they are anywhere close to good enough at quarterback.
Well, not yet, George. They've got to get off to a good start and let a quarterback develop. He will be better off the quicker he makes a decision, whoever it is. If he can make it in week 1 of practice, then I think his team has a chance to settle in. If he goes right up to game 1 or even not even knowing going into game 1, I don't think that's good for him. So if I'm Jimbo, who to me, listening to him, it's like he was trying to catch a plane. I mean, he was going so fast, it was like, I got to get out of here and catch a plane. He's a very good football coach, and I don't think through the years he's gotten enough credit offensively. He is very good at adjusting to what he has. His offenses, to me, is the one group that you don't see the same thing every year. It's a little bit different every year. I think he does a good job. As I thought, I put him right up there with David Cutcliffe. David always did a really good job wherever he's been at adjusting, especially to the quarterback and the style of offense that you run. But I'm with you. There's some talent in that room now. Those are talented guys. I know two of the three, watched them, know a little about them. And I just think he needs to settle on one and go. This back and forth stuff all the way into game 3, I think will really hurt him if that happens.
Zach Johnson is one of the three. That's Brad Johnson, the former. Max. Well, let's just make up some other names.
Zach Johnson's a golfer.
Zach, you're right. And he's a very good golfer. Okay. What I saw at LSU, Watson, you would get little flashes that would have you saying, okay, I see it, but too many inconsistent periods around it. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I didn't think he was on a very good team. The offensive line sure wasn't very good. LSU just wasn't a good team, so I don't know that that's fair to him. His numbers are good. He said probably the best in the league. I mean, Hendon Hooker was 31-3, 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 68% completion, and just made plays in a lot of ways. I haven't seen Johnson be that style yet. But A&M has got good players, and he doesn't have to make the plays Hooker makes, I don't think. If he can just be steady and make the plays when he needs them, if he's the guy. But I still go back to, man, settle on one. I just think he's got to get that done early. I would like to think he already knows who it's going to be from but this summer's workouts and everything, because you can do a lot more with these kids than you used to could do in the summer. And so they know a lot more going into the preseason than in the time back when I was really into being a head coach, George. So I think that's a major plus. These guys can settle. It's just like at Tennessee and how they went with Milton over Hooker. I think the number one decision Jimbo's got to make to have a chance to win the SEC, be up there where he's predicted to be, is settle on his quarterback and it work out.
Let's see if we've got time to do this. Can we flip A&M's schedule up there and kind of take a look?
Yep.
So not worried about old Sam Houston, not overly worried about Appalachian State. Is that University of Miami, third home game in a row?
Yep.
Well, that might be very interesting. And, of course, Arkansas in a neutral site in Arlington, although I wonder if it is really neutral. Watson, that road game at Bama. Wow.
Man, that'll be wild. Arkansas and Dallas will not be easy at all. Mississippi State, he did a good job last year with those guys, pretty good. And I don't know, there's a lot of good teams on this schedule, George, but Miami is one of his non-conferences. Tough now.
Yeah.
Now that's a tough one. The other three, Appalachian State is no give me. They will have to play in that game. And Sam Houston and UMass are. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like he's playing a lot of what I think are some of the better teams, but I'm kind of with you till you. I said it early in the week. I still believe this, George. You got to have a quarterback and you got to be really good in the offense and defensive lines. You've got to start at those two places. I think he's pretty good in two of the three. The biggie with him is settling on a quarterback, which got him last year. He just never could settle. Injury was part of it last year, but I've got my fingers crossed for A&M. If they want to be good, they got to find the guy, and he's got to be good.
Okay, we're going to go after the break and talk Auburn Tiger football. Brian Harsin, well, he brought it up. He didn't wait for anybody to ask it, at least not at the podium behind us. So we'll get into all of that after the break. Billy, what do you got for us?
George, we've got All Access Coach Leasing. All Access Coach Leasing provides a professional entertainer tour transportation with over 20 years of experience in the entertainment industry and driving for some of the country's most successful tours. All Access has established itself as a premier provider of buses and transportation services. Call 615-230-7400 or visit allaccesscoach.com.
Okay, after the break, we'll talk War Eagle on Main Street Media Television.
You in?
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see agents Jim Pratt or Heather Clifton in Dixon.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Don't overpay for your next home entertainment system. Visit the folks that have been selling, installing, and repairing TVs, stereos, and more for the last 40 years. Denton's, the TV store in Dixon, has the largest selection of high-end TVs on display. Denton specializes in professionally designed unique TV, audio, and video systems for the whole house, man cave, or outdoor space. Stop by in the Dixon Plaza across from Kroger or call 615-446-2222. Denton's, the TV store. It's in the name.
At Redbird Realty, we are committed to providing you with the highest quality service in not only finding your cherished home, but also a wise investment. With over 27 years experience in the real estate industry, we offer high quality service and we treat our clients the way that we would like to be treated. When you're ready, we would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your real estate needs and answer any questions you may have. Call us at 615-476-2879. 615-476-2879.
With 14 locations across Tennessee, family-owned Fast Stop Markets knows you need simple. The one-stop shop for fuel, food, and more now offers Fast Stop Perks, an easy-to-sign-up rewards program that turns your purchases into points that you can spend like cash. You can also win prizes, join clubs, and save big. Get your Fast Stop Perks card at checkout or download the Fast Stop Perks app to start earning your points today. Fast Stop Markets, keeping you moving.
C&K Forklift Repair understands that a non-working forklift puts a hold on your team's ability to do its job. Our certified technicians work quickly and efficiently 24 hours a day to repair and provide maintenance on your forklift using only high-quality replacement parts. With over 15 years experience, C&K Forklift Repair also provides training and instruction for forklift operators covering all of Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Give us a call, 615-651-2735.
State Farm Agency Micah Blunt is proud to bring you live coverage from SEC Media Days. Micah was born and raised in Tennessee and takes pride in providing the highest degree of protection for all customers. State Farm offers auto, home, and life insurance at the price you can afford. Located in Dixon, Tennessee, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Give Micah and his team a call today to help with all of your insurance needs. Serving all of Tennessee, call 615-229-2999. That's 615-229-2999.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Okay, let me say hello to Brian Stewart. Brian, you ready for the right words?
Well,
let's see if we've got him there. There he is. Brian, One Stop Realty How about that?
George, I'm so proud of you. Watson, give him a
Touchdown.
pat on the back there.
1 out of 2 is pretty good for George, Brian.
That's right. I've seen bet of the day so far, or the stat of the day, or whichever. George.
Neither one of them.
Yeah, George is hitting home
about.
runs now, baby.
and Brian, as you can see in the background, my fan base is here. Oh, there's nobody here. They're going to throw us. By the way, they're going to throw us out of here, and so we are going to end this a tad bit early, probably around 5:50. But Brian,
hey, Brian, it won't be the first time he's been thrown out of somewhere. So
I think his crowd, his support group is they're just on break right now. They're still on break. That's all.
Watson,
they're waiting on the Tennessee line for him, Brian. That's what they're doing.
That's right.
Watson, I was not aware you were part of this commercial.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get out.
I love Watson.
Well, then let him do the commercial.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Brian, let's talk a little bit. I hear this a lot, that there are so few listings available compared to years before now where it's been crazy. So talk to me about maybe some listings you all may have.
So, George, of course, with 2 years, the last couple of years that we've had, listings have been hot and heavy. They have, when it comes to a listing that people have put on, the buyers basically have gone in there and they've just got spanked on these, on going and trying to make a purchase on a new home. Well, the tide is hopefully turning here, and I believe me, that is a reference to Alabama there, by the way. The tide has turned. Buyers are finding more and more options with homes on the market now. With interest rates gone up and the inflation and everything that's gone on in our nation, it has definitely hit the state of Tennessee. Now, what's that doing for buyers? It is giving them options as far as going out and making offers on homes and not getting beat by 10 or 12 multiple offers or more. So as far as listings go, we are seeing an uptick on the listings. What is happening with the listings, though, is that they are sitting on the market just a little bit longer. Multiple offers are still happening if the house is priced correctly. And that's what it's all about, is having an agent that can actually price the home correctly to where you can get activity on the market. We have homes right now that are in the $1.5 million range, all the way down to $150,000 for a piece of land. We've got them in Madison, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Nashville. We have commercial property listed. One Stop Realty definitely is your one-stop shop for finding your real estate needs. Now, as far as the market goes, it's really driven by the interest rates. And right now I see the interest rates are 5.5 to 6.5. So you're going to see a little bit longer on market for listings, and you're going to see buyers being able to take advantage of that.
Brian, if somebody wants to reach you, how do they do that?
615-440-7011 is my cell phone number. 615-822-0750 is the office. You can get us on the internet at onestoprealtytn.com. And as always, please check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a like, give us a follow. I promise we can help you out with all your needs.
Beautiful. Let's do it again tomorrow, Brian.
I'll be here, George. Have a safe trip back. We welcome you back to Nashville, okay?
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. And we will be on the road here in just a little while. But first, let's hit the music and talk a little War Eagle. So the final team today gets to the microphone, the Auburn Tigers. You know the offseason has been absolutely Looney Tunes. Brian Harsin addressed that earlier today, Watson, and he made clear he was not at all appreciative. I'll be honest, I was shocked he brought it up.
He nearly had to, George. I mean, in my opinion, I thought he did it right. I'd beat the posse. I wouldn't wait till they start asking me questions about it, because that's what's going to happen. And he just flat started talking about it, and really positive about everything. Maybe took that a little far. I could relate to it, always coming in and trying to be positive about what we were going to be during that season when we hadn't had a great season the year before. Felt that a little bit in what he was doing. He was trying to get positiveness back around the program. I thought he handled it well. If I'm him, that's it. It don't come up again. I wouldn't answer another question about it. It was all done today, and now I'd get on to Auburn this season. I would nip it in the bud from here on. Hey, we talked about it. It's done. Let's move on.
Bo Nix is gone. He transferred to Oregon. And Watson, when last we saw Auburn, they were playing Houston in the Birmingham Bowl, and Finley just simply wasn't anywhere close to good enough.
Nope. I think Auburn's got – what did we just talk about with A&M? I think Auburn's got to find a quarterback. If they don't find a quarterback, you're looking at another 7-6, 6-6, 6-7, somewhere around that now without a quarterback.
How do you mask it? I think what you're saying is in this day and time, you can't.
No. In the old days, you could dang sure mask it. You didn't have to have a great one if you had Herschel Walker, and he's going to carry it 35 times. Bo Jackson, and he's going to carry it 35 times. Not today. Not in today's game. There is no offense that can be good in college football in today's world without a quarterback. So put it up. That's the question mark, and he needs to find it. And it needs to, if he doesn't, this could be it. I mean, I'm not sure he could get through another 6-6. I've lived in that state 15 years, and I'm telling you, Auburn can't go 6-6 or 6-7 2 years in a row. It won't happen.
Let's take a look at his schedule and what it is he's up against to try to get there. So obviously Mercer and most likely San Jose State are victories. Watson, Penn State in week 3, even though it's at home. Holy cow.
And they played them good last year, if you remember. Mm-hmm. They did.
Yep.
They had a shot at them at State College. Again, though, he's got what, 8 home games? So that's good. He's only got 4 road games in the whole season, but those 4 are tough. That's not an easy 4 to play. All of those are good home teams. They're hard to play at home, and but gosh, win your home games, in which he's really. Who would you say on there he absolutely can't win? Nobody, but Arkansas, Texas A&M. I'm not going to put LSU in there, and Penn State are the big 3. But if I'm sitting down there and I'm Brian Harsin, I say, guys, let's take care of home. We got 8 of them. We got as many as anybody. We got the most you can have as anybody in the conference. And that's a good atmosphere too now. That's a good home field advantage playing there.
Watson, let's go back. Give me the 3 you say he can't win.
I don't think he can beat Georgia. I don't think he can beat Alabama. Are the only 2 I don't think he can win. The rest of them he will be able to play with. Auburn's always got really good players. They will have good players. But if he sits there in year 2 without a quarterback, that's on him. He had to go get one. And he has to know the one he got is going to be it. I just can't see him going the route he went last year. He's got to have a different face.
Well, I'm with you about one thing, the 6-7 or 7-6. And I'll be honest, unless a quarterback really steps up, that's what it feels like to me. If that happens, I think he's gone at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've been in that state a long time. Alabama Auburn guys don't hang around with 2 bad years in a row. It just doesn't happen in that state.
It's a really difficult deal he's walked into. Watson, I think he's a good football coach, but I think he's walked into a really tough situation. I know he's tried very hard. He was up here on Radio Row quite a bit today with some of the Alabama stations. So I know he's trying to bridge the gap. I just feel bad for him.
You know, he just had in the first year, he didn't have a quarterback play consistent. SEC, one last time this week, quarterback, offensive line, defensive line. It starts quarterback. And if you go back and look last year, the teams that had good quarterbacks had the better records. The team that had quarterback play around C average play, they're 7-5, somewhere in there. And that's been his deal to me. This whole stuff about he don't fit, I don't know that I'm go there myself. Maybe so, but if he'd gone 8-4 last year, I don't think you'd have heard that. Quarterback, he's got to settle on it. He's had a year to fix it. I'm hoping he has, because if he hadn't, he's looking at 500.
Billy, here's the broadcast lesson. 11-1, you're a good fit. 6-7, you get this kind of fan base.
You got it. Same kind I got behind me here in this house. So.
Exactly right. Win or tie, they're backing you.
Oh.
Okay, what do you got there, Billy?
George, talking Auburn, they are presented by Sumner Bank and Trust. Just as their logo with its layers of the land, water, and sky expresses how important community is to them, their contributions demonstrate a commitment to meet the needs within their community. Where some have branches, they have their roots. They are your local community bank. Visit SumnerBankandTrust.com for more information.
Okay, after the break, we will get into the plaster bet of the day. It's early, and it's pathetic to say I need a win, but I do. And I'm going with Tried and True when we come back on Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local, and I think Main Street Media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years. And keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers, and that's what I like about Main Street Media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrating.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
There is the good news and the bad news. The good news is there will be a show tomorrow. South Carolina football coach Shane Beamer, a one-on-one that I ended up doing with him. We'll run that at 4:20. And then around 5 o'clock, Andrew Hutchinson to join us and talk Arkansas Razorback football. All of that on the final day of the week. Want to thank the folks involved here at the College Football Hall of Fame. They have been great hosts to us this week. Our thanks to the Southeastern Conference, and most importantly, our thanks to the sponsors who have allowed us to make this trip possible. Now to the bad news, the plaster bet of the day. Billy, take over.
George, plaster bet of the day is up, and we got to get you a win tonight. We got to find a way to do that, and you've got the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, they're at home, and they're really a pretty light favorite. The problem is San Fran has the better pitcher. Carlos Rodon came within, 4 outs of a no-hitter in his last start. White with the Dodgers, a little more inexperienced. The Dodgers are the better team. I'm desperate. I got to go with them. Watson, I cannot start 2-5. I got to have a win.
I think you're already 2-5.
No, I know that.
And so you could go to 2-6.
No, I could go to 3-5. I don't
That's
like
that BGA math again.
I don't like your negativity. I really don't.
I kind of like the pick. I think Yankees over Astros would have been mine, but the game's already started, and I would have given you grief if you'd have gone there.
Well, you would have ripped me.
Yeah, I'm probably being a little soft with that. Yeah, I probably would have.
You would have ripped me.
But that would have been my first pick, but the game has started. I don't think Yankees lose twice in a row. Let me finish with, you guys did a great job, George, this week, you and Billy. That's not easy.
In particular, Billy did.
You guys did a great job. I pat you on the back, and I promise you all the viewers have really appreciated you guys going down there and putting this together and being there 4 days. So good job.
Thank you, Watson.
Heading back to Nashville now.
Good job, Billy.
This drive is going to be fun.
Say a little prayer for us. We'll be driving home. We'd like to get back before midnight. And so we're going to basically, Watson, if you'll look, okay, I'm going to go. The only guy left in here is Paul Feinbaum.
Oh, my gracious. I know he's a fan. So you got one fan.
Yes. And
Paul is a fan. So
basically, they have cleared out Radio Row. There were 40 of these things.
Yeah.
We got to get an award or something. Last radio station standing.
Either that or stupidity. Anyway, Watson, I know you'll be back with us on Monday. You enjoy your lengthy weekend.
My part retired weekend, right then.
I like that. You've earned it. Okay.
Tell Paul I said hello.
I'll do it. We're done. Shane Beamer tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television. Good night from the home of the free and the defending world champion Atlanta Braves.
Main Street Media, live from SEC Media Days in Atlanta, is presented by Shelter Insurance of Dixon and Jim Pratt and Heather Clifton. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And in part by Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, Jeff Eby for State Representative, Red Bird Realty, Porter Brothers HVAC LLC, Area 51 Tech Solutions, Micah Blunt State Farm Agency, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint, Denton's The TV Store, Fast Stop Markets of Middle Tennessee, C&K Forklift Service and Repair, First Lending Solutions and Pam Witt, and by the Roxy 8 Theater of Dixon.